Okay, let's think about something for a second, something maybe we don't always appreciate enough. Our vocabulary, the words we use,
Hmm.
they're not just sounds or letters, are they? They're like the actual atoms and molecules that let us build meaning, share ideas.
Connect with people.
Yeah,
Absolutely. They're fundamental.
exactly. And that's what we're diving into today, how we can actually build up, really master, and then, use our vocabulary effectively.
Right. We're looking at some great resources for this Mastering Your Lexical Arsenal and this really comprehensive book, The Lexical Arsenal, plus its study guide.
Okay, so the mission here for you listening is basically to cut through all the different ideas out there and pull out the stuff that really works.
Yeah, the practical insights for improving your vocabulary.
Not just for sounding fancy, but for like better communication, understanding things more deeply, maybe even thinking more clearly.
We like this idea from the sources thinking of your vocabulary as your personal arsenal.
Yeah, like a toolkit.
Exactly. The more tools you have and the better you know how to use them, the more complex things you can handle. Right? You can be more precise.
That's a great analogy. It really fits. A carpenter needs more than just a hammer.
Precisely. And a good vocabulary lets you handle complex ideas, express subtle shades of meaning. It's about accuracy and finesse.
So it's definitely not just about impressing people with big words. The sources really stress this, don't they?
They do. They position vocabulary as the sort of an engine for both expression and comprehension.
How we say things and how we understand things.
Exactly. I mean, think about reading something or listening. Your understanding is fundamentally capped by the words you actually know.
If you hit a wall of unfamiliar words, the meaning just stops.
Pretty much. You
Yeah.
can't grasp the concepts if you don't know the labels for them.
And this is where it gets really interesting, I think, the link to thinking itself.
Yes. The sources make a strong case that vocabulary isn't just for output, for communication. It shapes how we actually process information. Well, words are like labels, categories for concepts. The more words you have, the finer the distinctions you can make in your own mind.
So a richer vocabulary means more nuanced thinking.
That's the idea. One source puts it really well. Language is inextricably linked to thought. The more words you know, the more refined and specific your conceptual understanding can become.
Wow. Okay. So it's fundamental to how we even structure our thoughts.
Right. It's working internally as much as externally.
Okay. So the benefits are huge. We get better comprehension, clearer thinking. What else? What are the kind of tangible wins in everyday life?
Well, there's quite a list when you break it down. We've got the enhanced comprehension, obviously reading and listening.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's more effective communication writing, speaking. You get clarity, but also, crucially, nuance.
Nuance, being able to say exactly what you mean, not just something close.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Capturing those subtle differences. And that feeds into persuasion, fluency, just sounding more articulate and confident.
Which links back to the sharper thinking, I suppose.
It does. Precise language supports precise thought. You can analyze things better, make finer distinctions.
And professionally, academically.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Mastering the specific jargon or terminology of field is often key to success and deeper understanding in that area.
Right. You need the language of the discipline.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the sources also mention things like better cultural understanding, because language and culture are so tightly woven together.
That makes sense.
It can boost your general ability to learn new things, too. A strong language base makes it easier to pick up new concepts everywhere.
And just feeling more empowered, less frustrated.
Yes. That feeling of control over language, being able to express complex ideas without struggling, it reduces that frustration.
Okay, the why is crystal clear. Vocabulary building is a real game changer. So let's get to the how.
Right.
The sources seem pretty down on just, memorizing lists of words and definitions. Why doesn't that work so well?
It taps into how our brains actually learn best. And yeah, the consensus is that rote memorization, word definition in isolation, it's just not very sticky.
Creates weak memories.
Exactly. Weak neural traces compared to other methods.
So what does work? What does the brain prefer?
Meaningful context.
Yeah.
That's the big one.
Okay, explain that.
When you see or hear a new word used in a sentence, in a conversation, in a story, your brain processes it along with all the surrounding information.
Ah, so it's connected to other things.
Right. It creates a richer network of connections. It's seeing the word doing something, not just sitting there on a list. It's much more memorable that way.
Like seeing a tool in use versus just seeing it in a catalog.
Perfect analogy. And it's usually not a one-shot deal.
No.
No. The sources talk about needing multiple, varied exposures, seeing or hearing the word again and again, maybe, say, 7 to 10 times or even more.
Wow, 7 to 10 times.
In different contexts, ideally. That really helps solidify it.
Okay, so context and repetition. What else?
Active processing. You can't just be passive.
Meaning?
Meaning you need to do something with the word. Think about its meaning, its nuances. Try using it yourself, even just in your head. Relate it to words you already know. Maybe break it down if it has prefixes or suffixes.
So interacting with the word mentally.
Exactly. Not just letting it wash over you. And that ties into association and networking, consciously linking new words to your existing knowledge base.
Building that web of meaning.
Precisely. And then there's the whole issue of forgetting things over time.
Ah, the forgetting curve.
Right. We naturally forget things if we don't revisit them. And the way to combat that is spaced repetition.
Okay, I've heard of this. It's used in language learning apps, right?
Very often, yes. The idea is simple but powerful. You review the new word at intervals that get longer over time.
So review it soon after learning, then a bit later, then later still.
Exactly. Just before your brain is about to forget it. This forces retrieval and strengthens the memory trace much more efficiently than just cramming. Digital flashcard systems are often built around this principle.
Smart reviewing, not just mindless repetition. Okay. That gives us a good sense of the learning principles. Now, what about the absolute must-dos? The non-negotiables for building vocabulary?
These are like the core habits, the foundations. Number 1, consistency.
Show up every day.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Short, regular sessions beat long, infrequent cramming sessions every time. Even 15, 20 minutes daily. Make it a habit.
Like exercise for the brain.
Yeah.
Okay, consistency. What else?
Context again. Always try to learn words in context. Never learn a word in isolation if you can avoid it, as one source says. See it in a sentence.
Got it.
Then focus on meaningful words. Prioritize vocabulary that's actually relevant to you, your interests, your job, your goals. Don't just learn obscure words for the sake of it.
Yeah, learn words you'll actually use or encounter.
Makes sense. Then there's the jump from receptive to productive.
Receptive is understanding, productive is using.
Exactly. Don't just aim to understand words when you see them. Actively try to use them in your own speaking and writing. That's how you truly own a word.
That feels like the harder part sometimes.
It can take conscious effort, definitely. But it's crucial. Then keep up that active engagement we talked about, interacting with the word. And of course, spaced repetition for review.
Right, the reviewing part.
Can't forget that. 2 more big ones. Embrace mistakes.
Don't be afraid to use a word wrongly.
Exactly. It's part of learning. See it as feedback, not failure. And finally, patience and persistence. This is a long game.
A marathon, not a sprint.
Precisely. You won't build a massive vocabulary overnight. Stick with it.
Okay, great foundations. Consistency, context, relevance, active use, review, embracing mistakes, and patience. Now for the tools. What's in our vocabulary building toolkit?
Top of the list, according to pretty much everyone, reading.
The gold mine.
Absolutely. It's the single best source for encountering words naturally in context. Read widely, read things you enjoy, read things that are maybe just slightly challenging for you.
And be active while reading.
Yes. Try to guess meanings from context first. Then look words up strategically. Don't just grab the first definition. Look at example sentences, maybe synonyms, antonyms, how the word is typically used, its collocations.
Collocations, words that hang out together.
Right, like heavy rain, not strong rain. Getting those right makes you sound more natural.
Okay, so active strategic reading. What about listening?
Also super important, podcasts, audiobooks, movies, music, conversations. It tunes your ear to how words are actually used in spoken language. The rhythm, the pronunciation.
Use subtitles or transcripts, maybe?
Can be really helpful, yeah. Especially for catching specific words or phrases. Focus on pronunciation, too.
Reading and listening. Good inputs. What about direct study?
Still has its place. Flashcards are a classic for a reason.
Physical or digital?
Both work. But digital ones often have spaced repetition built in, which is a huge plus.
What goes on the card? Just word and definition?
Ideally more. Word definition, yes, but also a good example sentence showing how it's used. Maybe synonyms, maybe a note on pronunciation or grammar.
Make it a rich little info packet for the word.
Exactly. And review them daily, actively recalling the meaning before you check.
Okay. What about those word parts, prefixes, suffixes, roots?
Morphology. Yes, very powerful. Learning common roots and affixes is like getting a key that unlocks tons of words.
Like your spect, example earlier, inspect, spectator.
Exactly. Knowing spect means see helps you decode related words. It's a very efficient way to learn. Learn one part, understand many words.
A linguistic superpower.
Sort of. And then the really crucial step, active use.
Putting the words to work.
You got it. You learn words best by using them. Write with them, journals, emails, practice sentences, speak with them, talk to language partners, join conversation groups, even just talk to yourself.
Get them out of your head and into the world.
That's the goal. Truly internalize them.
And you mentioned specific word types, phrasal verbs, idioms.
Yeah, those can be tricky, but really important for fluency. Things like look up, give in, idioms like bite the bullet, and those collocations we mentioned. Focusing on these specifically can make a big difference in sounding natural.
So it's a mix. Input through reading and listening, direct study with flashcards and morphology, and output through active use.
That's a great summary. A well-rounded toolkit.
How do we make this stick, though? Make it part of everyday life, not just a project.
Personalization is key. Your strategy needs to fit you, your level, your goals, your interests.
Right. A beginner needs different things than someone studying for an advanced exam.
Totally. And then you weave it into your day. Little things. Label stuff around the house, change your phone language.
Oh, that's a good one.
Read articles or listen to podcasts about hobbies you already love. Use commute time or waiting time for quick flashcard reviews. Turn everyday conversations into practice opportunities.
Find those pockets of time and integrate it.
Exactly. Make it seamless, not a chore.
And are there common mistakes people make? Roadblocks to watch out for?
Definitely. Learning words in isolation is a big one. Not actively using them is another. They stay passive. Inconsistent review. The forgetting curve wins.
Forgetting to review.
Yeah. Relying on just one method too. Mix it up. Choosing irrelevant words, being too afraid of making mistakes, or just getting overwhelmed by how many words there are.
Okay, so be mindful of those pitfalls. How do we know if we're actually getting better? How do we track progress?
You can track it. Maybe keep a running count of words you feel you've truly learned. But more importantly, notice the difference.
How?
Are you understanding more when you read or listen? Finding it easier to follow complex discussions? Are you starting to use new words naturally in your speaking or writing without forcing it?
Noticing the real-world impact.
Exactly. As one source says, seeing tangible evidence of your growth provides motivation. That feeling of, hey, I understood that, or I used that new word, is powerful.
That makes total sense. Seeing the results keeps you going.
And that's important because this is fundamentally a lifelong thing.
Not a task with an endpoint.
Right? It's an ongoing investment. Building and refining your vocabulary pays dividends throughout your life. The best approach is always going to be the one you personalize and stick with.
So every new word isn't just data. It's a tool, a key.
A key. I like that. A key that unlocks new meanings, new ideas, new ways to connect and express yourself. It's genuinely empowering.
Absolutely. So the big takeaway seems to be vocabulary is foundational, it's powerful, and the way to grow it is through strategic, active learning, not just brute force memorization.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Context, active use, spaced review, consistency. That's the path.
So for you listening, maybe think about one or two things from our chat today. What's one strategy that really clicked for you? Something you could actually start doing, maybe even tomorrow.
Yeah, make it concrete. And maybe chew on this thought.
Yeah.
Think about the last time you felt you couldn't quite say what you meant, or you didn't fully get what someone else was saying. How might having a richer, more precise vocabulary, your own lexical arsenal, have changed that specific moment?
It's a great question to ponder. Definitely keep exploring, keep building that arsenal. Thanks for diving deep with us today.